So let's look at a course outline. If you click on the course outline link, you'll probably get the course outline that you need for your class. Everything will be listed there. It'll give you a course description, learning objectives, the required text, and instructional materials. One of the things that I know that you're going to need for this class is the textbook, which is available online. I recommend online textbooks, nothing for you to store or sell afterwards. You get to rent them for a certain period of time. You do need the textbook because a lot of the things that I might quiz you on come from the people that wrote that textbook. You need internet access. If you don't have reliable internet access, please let me know or let someone know at the School of Business. You need something to take notes on, preferably when you're taking notes on your lectures. You're going to need a smartphone, a tablet, um, a laptop computer. You are going to need a laptop or a desktop computer to complete the lab assignments with, right? This explains the grade scale, so anything above a 93 is an A, and it breaks it down. If you're afraid that you're going to drop the class, by all means, do it officially. Go to the registrar's office and drop the class officially. Because if you don't, it turns into an F. And if you try going back to school later on, maybe a year or 5 years or even 10 years later, that F is still going to be there and you have to clear it up. This explains the weighting policy. Lecture attendance and participation and notes are worth 20%. The labs are 20. Exams, quizzes, and entrepreneurship each are worth 20%, like I explained to you. This explains all the lecture participation notes. Now, keep in mind, we do a different lecture every session. The lecture notes are due that day. Unless I tell you otherwise, all deadlines, whenever I give you a deadline, it's always 11:59 p.m. of that day on the deadline. Okay, so the lecture notes are due the day that we do the lecture. After that, you get them to take the quiz. If we do a lab, we introduce the lab asynchronously. You do it on your own. You look at the YouTube videos. You do the practice lab. All right, and then that comprises your assignment. Okay, and you submit a lab. Those labs are due the day when we cover them on our calendar. Again, with exams, if you miss the exam, the only way you can make up a quiz or an exam is to have official documentation, which means if you go to a doctor, I need to have a doctor's note that you've taken a picture of, and it has to be on official stationery. It cannot be an email that the doctor sends to me. If your boss requires you to work during a quiz or an exam, again, it's got to be on official company letterhead. It's got to give the name of your boss. It's got to be typed out. I have to be able to call and verify it if necessary. And the boss states that they need you. If you're, God forbid, in an accident, I need a copy of that accident report. hospital discharge paper, whatever it is that's an official document. I need that in order to allow you to make up either an exam or a quiz. There's only one or two exams. There's a quiz for every chapter. These are taken on your own. Okay. Quizzes, like I said, they're each worth 20% of your grade, both the exams and the quizzes. You get to take the quiz twice. You get the better of the two grades. Everything is timed, even the exams are timed. You get 1 minute per question. There's an entrepreneurship project that has 10 assignments that are due for homework, each one being worth 10 points. Again, the penalty for lateness is generally I give half credit for whatever is late. So if you submit it by 11:59 p.m. on the date when it's due, no problem. You get full credit, 10, 20, 30 points, whatever. Okay. If it is late, okay, if an assignment is late, then you only get 5 out of the 10 points. Academic integrity and citizenship. Again, I time everything, so you only have 1 minute to do anything. You can't make copies of the questions. If it ever gets discovered that you made copies of questions and circulated those copies, you will get a code grade of 42. 42 tells me that I had reason to believe that you were cheating. You can't take a photograph of the questions. Again, take it seriously, because 2 42s lead to you failing the class. If you have a disability, you have to register with the Office of Disability Services, or the CSA, the Center for Student Accessibility. And I provided their phone number there. Class dropping. At the beginning of each course outline, it'll tell you all due dates. The last day to drop this class, for example, in this particular semester was Monday, July 13th. The last day to submit any work is one class session before the last class session. Okay, so any and all work that you want to make up must be submitted one class session before. Let's look at what that looks like, how that interfaces with the calendar. This is the calendar. Let's see if it allows it to open up. Okay, yeah. Okay, this allows it to open up. This lists all the particular due dates of everything. This is exactly what we're doing at any given time. Okay. The drop deadline is usually specified on the calendar because the School of Business does not allow you to drop classes after the drop deadline. The exam, for example, is given on this Wednesday, July 22nd, which means that all work has to be submitted by midnight on Tuesday, July 21st, the date before the last date of the class. So another thing I want you to start thinking of is the grade that you would like to receive in this class. And in most cases, most people will tell you, I like to get an A. The most common grade that I give personally is an A minus. This is a class that has a lot of work to do in a short amount of time to do it in. However, you do get a lot of support. And the day that you start thinking about the grade that you want to get, okay, is not the day before the class comes to an end. So if you're running a D average, everything builds up. You're allowed to check your grades on the grade center anytime that you want. So if you see that you submitted something that I didn't give you credit for, you can email me or text me. Um, Start working towards that grade today. And understand that a grade does not define a person. I have people that have taken my classes that have only a C average, and they're very successful people working very productively today. I have other people that have A's, for instance, and it's not a guaranteed success factor in life if you get a grade of A in a class. Not in this class. And that's about it. That I hope I took this thing, or I started explaining to you how you're going to get graded in this class. One of the things that I am going to ask you to do is to take the course outline that you have here, and I'm going to ask you to print out a copy of it for yourself. Keep it for yourself. There's also going to be an electronic acceptance sheet that I'm going to send out to you, where I'm going to ask you for your name, your student ID number, uh, you know, uh, uh, text number, email address that you check every day, and everything like that. So if you have any questions, this part of the course outline always says how you can reach me. I have a cell number. I have a Google Voice number that's right here. You can reach me at that number anytime. But again, remember, when you text me, if I'm in the middle of an asynchronous session from, when I'm giving a lecture, I can't answer your text on a timely basis. If you have a question about a grade, this is my email address right here. It's BUS215, that address, which for some reason won't light up. But I hope we have a productive semester together.